Good morning, everyone. We are waiting for the participants to join, and we will start in a few minutes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We give few minutes to other participants to join, and we'll start. Okay, Hello and good morning to everybody. We are starting our e-boost webinar that is dedicated to European digital hubs. This is the first deep dive event that we are organizing on this topic. So today's webinar will be related to the changes and opportunities from the transport context change. And so, 1 second, I move the slide. Okay, so today's agenda, as you can see, we will have a short introduction to the e-boost project, financial opportunities and future events. And then we will have the guest of our today's webinar, a speaker, Giacomo Mussino from HD Motion European Digital Hub from Italy, and he will provide information about the mobility services, what changes and what opportunities from the transport context change we are facing. And of course, at the end, we will have the Q&A session. So about e-boost. e-boost is the European project financed by European Union, and it states for electromobility for the recovery and internationalization for small enterprises. This is the partnership among 6 partners from 6 countries. As you can see their logos, so we are representing different clusters from Europe, and on the pictures you can see we're facing and touching mostly all the transportation means in our ecosystem. Yes, as the main project objectives, so we are aiming to support the European SMEs from the mobility sector to recover from the COVID crisis. And one of the objectives that actually the main one reason why we're organizing these webinars to accompany SMEs transformation into a greener, a more digital economy. So we try to help you to understand how to do this transition, and therefore the e-boost project is a project that foreseen different activities, starting from cascade funding, helping in internationalization opportunities, provide some mentoring program, and also helping companies to participate in different Europe events through the lump sum funding. So many of you already know and participated in that activities. Here are some indicators that we already reached. We launched 15 open calls. We had 340 SMEs participated in calls. We signed 42 contracts related to innovations, and some of them were also partnerships. That's why we have 27 companies signed. We launched 10 and signed 10 innovation support services and 14 product and services applications that finally were financed. So and summarizing all our activities so far, we already financed 164 companies, SMEs of course, because this call e-boost project provides financial support only to small and medium-sized enterprises. About our future events that we are organizing, one of them will be International Business Forum. It is a B2Match online event that will create a lot of opportunities for networking, matchmaking, and of course business cooperation opportunities. to which will be invited companies from USA, Canada, Turkey, and of course from Europe. This event will be organized in June, so we will communicate very soon the exact date of this event. Another financial opportunities and event with the final event. It will be organized in Zaragoza in Spain on 21st till 23rd of May. In order to participate in this event, we e-boost.project finance sorry, the SMEs, support the SMEs to participate, providing the lump sum of 1,500 euros. So in case you're a company that is engaged in electromobility activities, you're producing products, details, or services, or some technology that is linked to the e-mobility. So you are from Europe. Please go on, and you have the right to participate in this call. Here are some more details about it. More contacts. In the right side, you can see the QR code, which you can scan and go directly to the link. In a nutshell, what is about the agenda? So with the help of the Spanish partner car cluster, you will be able to participate to several visits on the field. We'll listen to the conference program, and of course meet a lot of representatives of the automotive industry. So do not lose this chance to participate. We still have place, free, let's say, a post to such companies. So you're welcome. And our next future e-boost webinar from the EDIH Syria will be focused on explanation on the pillars for digital transformation of SMEs, and SNVT will be our Aragon European Digital Hub that will present their main services and success case in the mobility sector. So here also you can see the QR code. In case of interest, we invite you to participate and take part. So thank you. This is all from my side. Now I will give the floor to the speaker of this webinar, Mr. Giacomo Musino. Just a few seconds. Giacomo, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning. So just a few seconds in order to share the presentation I prepared for you. Okay. Okay, I think now you can see my screen. Is it true?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, good morning. Thank you, Irina, for the opportunity of present our activities about HD motion. So first of all, a short introduction about myself and also about my company. So I'm a mechanical engineer, and I spent most of my professional life in the vehicle sector. I worked in what is former Fiat and Chrysler Group, and I was responsible for innovation for many years. Then when the discussion moved from the vehicle performance to the vehicle CO2, I decided to devote my activities to a different field, the energy sector, in which I was involved for 4 years. And from 2021 till now, I'm with the SIM40 as responsible for advanced and sustainable technologies in the automotive programs. Just few words about the CIM4.0 Competence Center. CIM is one of the 8 competence centers in Italy devoted to the application and technology transfer about the 4.0 technologies in the companies. The activities is especially devoted and directed to the small medium enterprises, and each of the competence center has different focus in terms of technologies and also in terms of fields. We are in Turin, a well-known town about the automotive and the aerospace sector. So mainly we dedicate our activities to those two sectors, which are our what is very important to explain, and what is also very relevant also for the HD motion is this concept about the technology transfer. You know that from the first idea to the full application, normally there are many steps to be fulfilled. In the European programs, this is called TRL, Technology Readiness Level. So university normally work on the lowest level because they move from the basic research to the validation in laboratories. And then the companies ask to provide and to support in application. This is what the competence center in Italy used to do, and also the application in the European Digital Innovation Hub is following the same rules. So we start from the validation in lab, move into a validation in a relevant environment. We have 2 pilot lines in our facilities to support that, and then we also follow the application till the level 8, so till the demonstration in the significant industrial environment, and just leave to the small medium enterprise to move into the factory or into the full application, because it's a matter of business case. What are the technologies that we use to apply? You can see in this picture, they are most of the Industry 4.0 technologies, and move from the machinery, so from the industrial robotics, the additive manufacturing, laser welding, but also it covers the most intangible technologies, so the cloud, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and industrial IoT. But the focus still stay on the people that are very relevant for both the development and the application of new technologies inside the companies. This opens also the doors to the new Industry 5.0 application, in which human and sustainability is the main focus. In CIM, we are also very dedicated to the education. So this is one of the reasons why we are here today. But move on the today's topics. Just moving from what happened in the last centuries, because it's very important to understand. Sorry, okay. That it's not the first industrial revolution that it's happening today, because everything started many years ago, some centuries ago, thanks to the first industrial revolution, in which the power came from the steam, and this allowed to change completely the manufacturing sector, but also the transportation sector. This was a revolution. The people at the time saw the first machines moving on rails, giving new opportunities in exchange, good exchange, but also people and ideas exchange. The second revolution came once the electricity came into the production and also into the transportation. It started at the end of the 19th century, and it was a very relevant for the development of the following century in terms of machinery and technologies. Then we need to move 100 years later, in which the first computer came into the production. And so the digitalization started to be part of our activities. Very, very few applications in the beginning, but in the course of the decades, this was developed in a very efficient way. And we came into our millennium, in our decades, in which the physical and digital world came together. And so also things, also machinery started talking together. And this was the starting of the smart manufacturing and also the starting of the digitalization also of services. The latest step is today. As I said before, the focus is on the fifth revolution, in which all of the stuff developed together must be put together, and the focus moved on the human-centered and on the sustainability, looking to the environment. So what is really true is that people in the last years, and we are just in the third decade of the third millennium, just experienced the freedom of interaction and mobility. So the concept of communication, the telephone, the fax, any means that for the communication we was present before this millennium has been changed, and now we are talking about interaction and not just about communication. The same is happening for transportation. Transportation and the automotive is becoming mobility. Of course, this is also impacting the regulations, is impacting the standards, is impacting the way people and companies develop the new products. And so also new tools and new services are coming into the market, into the stage. So today I would like to focus on the concept of sustainability and mobility. And this is very real, especially for citizens, because people who live into cities, into towns, have seen, or they are asking for a different kind of mobility. So technologies can change the way people is moving and the way people is moving, both for work, for leisure, for any reason, daily, weekly, for special opportunities. And as I said before, it's not just a matter of talking about vehicles and technologies in the vehicles, but it's also a matter of talking about sustainability, safety, and the security. And this is not just affecting the private sector, so the providers of vehicles, the providers of transportation, but also the public authorities, because they make the rule for the mobility, for the everyday life, for the citizens. Sorry. Today the challenge is about ensuring that all the innovation can be implemented and create a new way for the mobility, more accessible, more efficient, and what the citizens are expecting, also high quality solutions. I said before, I'm very focused on the sustainable mobility because it's the keywords today for the new way of mobility. And it includes two words. The first one is mobility. Mobility includes the means of transportation, so the vehicle, includes the infrastructure, includes the mobility systems, and also the services, because everything is connected in the concept of mobility. And then on the other side, there is the sustainability, means less CO2, means efficiency for the vehicles, and means also new services in order to lower the impact on the environment. Of course, Europe and also Italy, because the focus today is on our activities in Italy, came with special regulation about the vehicles. And they are very focused on the CO2. They put very stringent and very strictly rules and limits for the CO2 for the transportation for the vehicles. This was deployed by the different nations into governments into rules mainly dedicated to the efficiency of the vehicle. But there are also other actions, and this is what I want to focus on. For example, of course, looking to different ways of mobility, shared mobility, light mobility, and also more efficiency in the way people are planning their journeys, their trips. And of course, last but not least, they are mainly focusing on the vehicles. Just going inside the numbers, just to understand which is the dimension of this problem, I want to focus on the urban mobility and especially on Italian urban mobility, because this is is in my focus today, and I think this can be also true for some cities in Europe. The transportation is very unbalanced in favor of private vehicles. So the cars, mainly cars, are the main main means that people use for their journeys. And just a part of the mobility is active mobility, so everything that is concerned with the activity of the single citizen, or the collective transport, individual or collective transportation. In Italy, this is mainly due to some issues that are related to the configuration of the towns, mainly ancient towns, and also of the environment and territory. But it's also habits from the citizens. So today, the answer for mobility seems to be the vehicles. But looking to the usage, people is using vehicles in a very bad and inefficiently way, because most of the journeys are less than 15 minutes. Means that a distance that can be covered also with other kind of vehicles, and mainly the most of the trips are less than 10 kilometers. So this means that there is something open to innovation and to different kind of vehicles inside the cities, and this opens also the possibility to integration among different kind of vehicles. And as I said before, if we look to the journeys, so the trips people daily makes to go for work, for example, or for leisure, mainly the mean is about 4 kilometers. Of course, this is a mean about in town, in city journeys and out of town journeys, but this means that the distance is very, very low. And the good news is that the average car occupancy rate grew in the last 20 years, but this can be much more efficient. So the sharing mobility is taking some opportunities, but it's not still at the most efficient rate. So on the other hand, we have to consider also the different types of mobility users. We used to distinguish among the different generations because they are much more, the habits are different, and they want to use different kind of mobility. So the elder people prefers to use vehicle, whilst the new generation have a different concept of mobility. So the generation Z has different ideas about the mobility. What is relevant is that there is no common answer for the new generation. New generation people from 15 and on, because they have different approach to the mobility. Some of them wants to have individual transportation because they wants to move in a flexible way, individual way. Some of them are much more positive for the public transportation. Of course, this means different willing to pay for transports, and also different approach to the personal life in order to balance the free time with the transportation time. There is no common answer. For the elder people, it is quite common to use cars, but for the new generation, this is not true. So, looking on the other side to the companies who have to provide the new mobility in terms of vehicles and in terms of services, today they have also to face with the new economic sustainability concept. That involves the environment, the social aspect, and the governance. This is something that we must have always in our mind when we think about new business and new opportunities to develop services and vehicles. The opportunity to approach the problem, the issues, is coming from the European Digital Innovation Hub, because they can support the mobility transformation using an approach as facilitators in collaborating projects in order to support the introduction of digitalization also in the mobility. And now we can start talking a little bit about the program, so the Academy Motion program. This project has been presented some years ago to a European call and received the seal of excellence. So this means that the European Commission approved the project, but this was out of the funding box. So they asked to the Italian ministry to support the program with the national funding. The project is mainly oriented to the small medium enterprises, to which the program can also give us funded support of 100%. The goal is to facilitate the application of digital technologies in both in the companies and also in the public administration. The partners are, of course, Italian partners. Each of them has different competencies and also can work with different tools in order to support companies in their programs. We have also some affiliated entities to support our activities. They are coming from both the collaboration from institution, the same Digital Innovation Hub, the local innovation hub, the innovation center from banks, and also universities. What is relevant, in my opinion, to underline is that all the competencies are included in the partnership. And which are the competencies? The competencies are about the core technologies and about the digital technologies. The artificial intelligence, of course, is well known as a technology to be applied in the nowadays, but also the high performance computing and the cybersecurity are the main, let me say, backbone on which all the new programs can be founded. And the new technologies, the complementary technologies are about the communication, the cloud computing and the cloud communication, and the computer vision, augmented reality, and the simulation. Which are the targets? The targets are, as I said before, the small medium enterprises, looking both to manufacturing companies, but also who has to manage infrastructure, transportation, public transportation, freight operators, and also mobility service providers. In general, all the companies that have to deal with the transport and mobility, both of people and goods. Which are the services that can be provided by Academotion? Of course, the list is included in our website, but the activities are the same for the digital innovation hub. So mainly we want to support companies in reducing the risk in the phases of the development, so allowing them to test the solutions before investing to create a real business. And sometimes they do not have enough competencies in a field that is complementary to their field, and they need to be supported in that. And then they need also training for the fields in which they are not so skilled. And this can be provided from the partnership. They need support to the investment, not the investment for the testing before investment, but for the business case for the application. And normally they need also to stay in a competitive environment, of course, but also in a cooperation environment, so in an ecosystem in which innovation is supported thanks to both funding, but also thanks to networking. So what I cannot provide because I'm not able to build, maybe that in the networking, there is someone else who can participate to my business and to support my business and to get some results and some benefits also from that in a sort of win-win application. The incentives are provided by the Italian government. As I said before, everything must be done in 1 year, so by April next year. The budget is quite relevant, and not huge, but quite relevant. And as I said before, the percentage of incentives can be quite high for the small medium enterprises. But just to go into the real world, these are just two examples about what we worked on in the last programs. The first is quite simple. It is providing mobility as a service to the citizens, to the users, integrating different services provided by different institutions, so public and private transportation suppliers, giving the possibility to the users to use the alternative in a very easy way. The users have different alternatives for their journeys, the bicycles, the scooters, if they can use the shared vehicles to move in the city. They normally are looking for parking, or they can think to their journey in different steps using different vehicles. So the goal is to give them quick access to the alternatives, and a simple planning of their journey with easy reservation of the different types of mobility. Of course, the technology involved in that case are very related to the manage of data and to the transfer of data. Another example is a little bit different because it's related to the infrastructures. So the users can help the public authorities, for example, the public administration, in keeping the roads in a very good shape, because the shared mobility can be provided, for example, with special accelerometers able to feel the vibration on the road and distinguish between the potholes and just the road. So a quick communication of the information can provide to the public administration if the roads have some problems, some issues, and to avoid, for example, accident for the light mobility users. And this can be done in a very easy way, thanks to the vehicles that are still provided with the communication. I think this is the last chart in my presentation. Of course, the invite is to get in touch, thanks to our connection with the web and also with the social. And thank you for your attention. If you have questions or if you want to go deeper, these are my references for following. For follow-up. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Giacomo. Thank you. It was indeed very interesting to discover that story that you started from the beginning until nowadays. And I hope all the participants enjoyed as well. So I will invite to ask questions those who are in the session with us. In the meantime, I will raise a question from my side. 1 second. So let's do it. I have you mentioned several services that your Digital Innovation Hub provides. My question is, who can benefit of all these services? Should they ask only one of them, or they can combine? Is any, let's say, restriction on that side?
The list can be found, just to be very clear, the list of services can be found on our website. Normally, the focus is on the digital services. This means the usage of communication, the usage of artificial intelligence, the collection of data, and mainly these are the services we want to provide. Of course, it seems to be intangible because the data are intangible, but they run on tangible assets. So we can also provide support for the development of network, for development of hardware if needed, and this is part of our services. I don't know if I answered to your question. So we are very open to both software hardware, cloud, and devices connection. And of course, the main focus is to use data together with artificial intelligence to create new services.
Yes, thank you very much. Regarding if any limitation of the budget that the company can ask for within your service?
There is no particular limit. Nowadays, most of the companies ask for services around some tens of €1,000. They just not overcame the limit of €100,000. So this allows us to give services to a larger amount of companies. I just want to underline that normally the small medium enterprises looks for money, but few amount of money, so very small amount of money. This is a good opportunity, especially for the small enterprises, to have access to higher volume of money, because it can be provided with a very interesting fund rate.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I just want to give additional information, because in my experience, small medium enterprises often have a very good ideas, very good opportunities, but sometimes they do not have a clear understanding of the path to move from the idea to the application. So we can also leverage, or they can leverage through Acadimotion also on program management to support also this path. So also in funding, not only the money to support the activities, but also the networking to give a boost to their activities. I think this is very, very important, and sometimes it's not very used, or companies are not used to ask for that.
Okay, so I have a question here from Ersan, asking if how can they apply to MISM call. Of course, you will receive the presentation and you will have the link to apply.
Yes, of course. You can share with the participant the documentation. There is no problem.
So another question is, do you have the interest to wireless charging technology based on energy quantization? So I think this is the question, not to our webinar, Ruslana, because this is not the purpose to do business, but you can participate in the MISM call and propose your solution to the audience. Okay, a question to Giacomo. Do you see a synergy for cooperation for your program for technology and IT company experience in e-mobility projects?
If I had experience till now, yes. Personally, yes. For Acadimotion, not yet. Because Acadimotion today is funded by Italian ministry, so is mainly devoted to Italian companies. So we didn't have the opportunity to join with other programs. Unfortunately, this is in some ways a limit, but also an opportunity because we can stay very focused on the Italian environment. So this is the reason also because I showed many information about the mobility in the Italian cities.
Okay, another question is from Sin, asking if only Italian companies can participate in your HD motion services, or also any other European-based companies can do it as well.
As I mentioned, unfortunately, this is possible only to companies who are Italian or have Italian subsidiary. So if there is a connection with the Italian company or Italian subsidiary, this can be possible. So to be very clear, we need a VAT number, Italian VAT number.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm sure, Sin, you can look for any similar European digital hub in France or Belgium, as I see you are from there. So you can, of course, find several of them and select according to your type of the business. So which one suits best to you? I'm sure you will find it. Please contact me in case you need any help on this side. Another question is from Emre. So do we have to propose something, or instead can we just share our technology and what benefits it has, and then we can look for what potential partnerships can we work on the subject together? No, I think the question is, I mean, in the nutshell is that you come to the European Digital Hub, you ask for service, and they help you how to improve your technology, how to find, I don't know, financial partners in case you are looking for any, let's say, investments and so on. So this is the European Digital Hub that helps you, right?
Yeah, this is a very important point, Irina, because the European Digital Innovation Hub, in this case Acadimotion, must be seen as a partner in the development. So can be the supplier in terms of, it's a sort of supplier, engineering supplier or solution supplier. And so the activities provided by the HD Motion are exclusive or, let me say, complementary to the activities provided by the company. But the company cannot receive any funding in terms of support to the internal work, for example, or yes. So it's a little bit different from the European funded project because the service must be provided by the partners from the Digital Innovation Hub.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions. Just one from Theme, maybe. It's a little bit long. So rural mobility opportunities for those going to the city. 50 minutes is rural to city trip in most cities, less than 1,000 inhabitants in Europe. Is this also a focus? This is the first question.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I focused mainly on the urban environment because and relevant in terms of a number of people to be for the service to a large number of people, but of course also the journeys and the trips from the neighbors to the downtown are in the focus. Yes, and the mobility, it's a very critical. Sometimes it's very critical, and it has. I mean, especially in Italy, it has very few alternatives to the car. So yes, the answer is yes. The service that can be included in the AcadeMotion services.
Okay, and then the question, policy around emission CO2 and vehicle tech is one part. Local mobility planning is the other aspect. And my specialty, I mean, of the company that is writing the question, economic feasibility is better than thought often once the real data is researched in spite of presuppositions. It needs a combination of solutions that are fixed, combined with flexible and digital options. To get to the fixed solution. How are the new options interacting with the mobility planning level? I did not see it as a target, though it is a key to structure to government side as the COE structures to the business side. So
okay.
How are the new options interacting with the mobility planning level from your point of view?
Yes, this is a very good point because in my experience, I'm seeing a lot of efforts from the public administration in the towns to collect the different types of services. The light mobility services, the sharing mobility services, the public transportation services, in one single point. Normally, this is done creating a sort of application usable that can be used on our cell phones to connect all those services. On the other hand, the main issue to get this done, so the coordination and cooperation among different kind of services thanks to one single point of access, is the sharing of the revenues. And this is a good point for the public administration they have to solve, and seems to be the, let me say, harder point, much more harder than the development of the application.
Indeed, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions from the audience. Thank you all for your participation. We are very happy to have here today Giacomo Musino as an expert in the field, and thank you very much for all the information you shared with us. Hope to contribute to other companies. I mean, that we provided a message to the companies that they can use such kind of tool. I mean, the European Digital Hub in their digital and green transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you to everybody for the participation. Thank you, Irina.
Thank you, and I wish you a good day. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.